Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James, where I do what I want, when I want, and today I want to get into astrology. More specifically, Mercury and an in-depth analysis within Mercury. You know, Mercury is that very whimsical, whizzy, inquisitive, and communicative planet in our solar system or in our universe. And it is governing the energy of Gemini in the third house, and it is a planet that is very just communicative, and it gives very scholastic vibes, or vibes of just sociability and being very social and getting information for information's sake. It also rules realms of like writing and reading and speaking, things like this. Me talking to you is a very Gemini theme or Gemini energy. Right now I feel like the god Hermes and Mercury are all over me right now because they are just loving the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you about anything. You know, if I were just sitting here talking to you about anything, that is what Mercury is all about. And so let's get into it. So I love to go into the history of these things, and I like to believe that, you know, everything is connected. Everything is connected, especially when it comes to the universe and astrology and our myths and our legends. And so when it comes to Mercury is going to be akin to the Greek god of Hermes. Remember, Hermes Trismegistus, as they say, which is the full name, or Thoth in Egyptian mythology or Egyptian godhood, is going to be the god of the scribe, or the god of the winged shoe god that would whiz around and scribble on its little pad and whiz around and take notes and take information. Remember that god. I know you guys know that imagery of the winged shoe god. He had wings on his shoes and he would fly around in his little toga, right? And he would be scribbling on his little pad. That was Hermes. That was Thoth. Thoth with the big long beak was the gods of thought, the god of thought and speaking and communicating and writing. And so Hermes Trismegistus was a god of just thoughts. He ruled the thoughts. He ruled the mental process, a lot like Gemini, a lot like the third house. These are all ruled by Mercury, or the Greek god Hermes Trismegistus. And so whenever I see Mercury in a birth chart, is going to be where I automatically see where this person's mental process is. What is this person always thinking about? If you want to know what that guy that you have a crush on, or that girl that's so mysterious, if you want to know what she's always thinking about, or what she or he loves to talk about, just look to see where their Mercury is. Their Mercury is going to show you exactly what they love to talk about and what their mind is always on in this life. It's also going to be where that person is, like, where they shine the most in what they speak about. And so it's very amazing to see that, like, you know, in the third house, or so let's give an example. So when Mercury is in the first house, or let's say Gemini is in the first house, this is going to make for a person who is going to show up as a very social creature. Like as a Gemini rising, or when Mercury is in the first house, this person is always speaking. They're always at the parties. They're always at the social events. They're always going to be someone who at the party you can't kind of tie them down. They'll come to this table, they'll go to that table, they'll go to this table, they'll go to that table. I have a friend who has Gemini, Venus in Gemini in the first house, and whenever she'll invite all these people to the party and she will connect them and we'll become friends of each other. But the person who invited us there, we're always like, oh my God, where is she? Like, where is she? She will come and go as quick as she comes and goes. Like, she is someone who just wants to go around and see how everyone's doing. She's always talking, always getting the information, and then she's gone. She's on to the next. I'm just like, could you sit and talk to me? Can you? But you can't, because with Gemini, remember, it's all about mental stimulation. It's the winged shoe god. What did the winged shoe god do? He would flitter around, get the information, and he would go off to the other. He would be off to the next, on to the next. And so that is a lot how a Gemini in the first house person would be. A Mercury in the first house would be. They are someone who wants information for information's sake. They love to talk. They love to whiz around and just be social. people may mistake these people for Leos, but I'd say that like a Leo is more flashy when they're in the room and they can stay put where they are, whereas a Gemini has to talk to everyone. They have to be in a party talking to everyone. And so whoever has heavy third house placements or Mercury or Gemini in the first house is going to exude these qualities and these characteristics. Now, with Mercury being in the third house, people also have made the argument that this also gives very quality of like technology, but I like to think that of it as more of like motivational speaking or Socratic seminars or debates. I think that Uranus is more of a technologically driven planet and Mercury is more of like written and spoken word. It's more of, even though we are on technology right now, I'm still speaking to you, and so Mercury would have a hand in that, but that would, technology for technology's sake is more Uranus. And so a lot of people get that confused, like, and that's why they say, oh my God, Mercury retrograde, my things are breaking. But I don't think that it's breaking. I don't think that technology is breaking because Mercury is ruling technology. I think that it's breaking because when Mercury goes retrograde, we have now been in a society that we use technology to communicate, right? That is our main connecting force, is technology. And so when Mercury goes retrograde and communication is supposed to be off, it will break technology because that is what we have come to use. Like, so say back in the day when technology wasn't our main force to communicate, it would be things like maybe a horse would break down or the carriage would break down that was carrying a letter that would get to the person so that they could communicate. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's, Mercury doesn't rule technology, it rules communication. And during a Mercury retrograde, whatever modality is being used to communicate back and forth will be broken, because during a Mercury retrograde, communication is broken. So yeah, that, I feel like that is what Mercury does in a birth chart. It really governs the thought process and the speaking fortitude of a person and what that person is thinking about in this life, and what this person likes to talk about. It also shows where this person is the most smart or the most inquisitive or the most curious in this life. And it also rules the god Hermes Trismegistus and the Egyptian god of Thoth or Thoth. I don't really know how the exact pronunciation of that, but yeah, that was my Mercury planet in-depth analysis. If you guys want to know where or how Mercury is in each sign and you want an in-depth, like, you know, what Mercury means in the first house, what Mercury means in the second house, I have a Mercury through the signs video, and I'll post that video in the link or in a little banner above, and look out for that. But that was my Mercury through the in-depth analysis video. If you guys need a birth chart reading, a career reading, a love and soulmate reading, I'm sure the stars have a message and a solution for you, and I would love to relay the message. Just hit my links below and I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.